Welcome everyone, this is Scott G with The Simple Trading Life, and welcome to our Friday edition of our live stream. And we're going to keep this really short and sweet today. I have some important phone calls I have to make for some other purposes here in a little bit, but I definitely wanted to go over ES and the price action, the E-minis, and what we've seen over the last couple of days. So thank you for joining us, and let me make sure I bring up your comments here so I can see if anybody pops in any questions while I'm going through. Yes, so give me 1 second here. See, we got several of you in here already, so welcome. You'll see where I type in. There you go. So anybody wants to type anything in, they can. Should be able to see my screen here. We are on the 30-minute chart of the E-mini S&P 500. And you can kind of see from right up here, this was the opening candle of the day. This purple dashed line is the opening price level. As you can see, we've basically been below that all day long. Now, what I really wanted to cover today was sort of the probabilities of what was going to happen today. So here was yesterday. Okay, from this dotted line to this dotted line was yesterday's price action. Boom, huge drop, right? Over 5% to the downside. I think they said it was the biggest drop since the market correction happened. Since the market correction happened. Sorry about that. Somebody was messaging me. And anyway, so here was the drop throughout the day. Here was the lowest point that we had right here. It was 29.96.25. Then we started the new day right over here. Okay, and then what did we do in the overnight session in the pre-market? We had this strong rally to the upside with nothing but a little bit of structure right there, a little bit of structure, and then here was the opening candle today. Now, let's first talk about the first probability. History tells us, and you can go back and anybody who's on Twitter or any other kind of financial social media, you can usually find this stuff pretty easily. But historically, anytime that we've had a day where we've had a 5% or greater drop in the market, like we had yesterday, it's typically followed up about 80% of the time with at least a 2% or greater gain. Okay, not always, right? About 80% of the time. So what happened from the low until right here? Even though that's not a full day, from this low, the 29.96.25, to the high right here was about a 2.85% gain right there. Okay, so this wasn't the end of the day, but we got that gain that we typically see after the big drop, right? Okay, it's sort of a relief bounce is what it is. Now, the overall move, I want to show you this. See, we got some more folks that have joined us. Okay, the overall move from up around here down to the low, this is only about a 35% retracement of that move. Okay, so right around our 33 level. Those of you who are either in my community at thesimpletradinglife.com or you've been watching these live streams for quite a while, you know my simple rule: when we have a big move in either direction or a huge candle, right, like a chaotic candle, just divide it into 33, 50, and 66. The simple rules are, if we only retrace to around 33%, give or take, 30 or 35, kind of in there, we're likely to go lower than the low. Okay, what happened? Right, this is about a 35% retracement of this entire move, and we've already made the lower low. Okay, the probability was in favor of a downward move. Okay, that's only one probability. I'm going to show you some more. Okay, so we had the probability that we were going to get a 2% or greater gain. We got it. Okay, now let's move over here. Let me expand this and make it bigger so it makes it easier for you guys to see. All right, so here was the opening candle today. I'm keeping everything super simple for you. Here was the opening candle for today. All I did was I created a range around this opening 30-minute candle. Now we know we've had the strong move to the upside. The opening range, now you can do this, some people like it on a 15-minute, some people like it on a 5-minute. I like it on a 30. You can do it on a 15, and all you're doing is you're taking what we call the opening range, the first candle of the day. It really, to me, it needs to be 15 or 30 minutes because you're letting all that whipsaw and all that craziness at the beginning of the day play out, and then you're going to get a better idea of what's going to happen. Now, probability number 2. Okay, so we talked about we had this strong upside move, right? But it only retraced about 35% of the strong downside move. Probability number 2, you see this drop, base, drop right here. Okay, see this? And if I put a cursor across there, look where my cursor goes. Look where price stalled out, right here. Okay, in our community this morning, I warned everybody right before the market opened. I said it looks like we're going to hit resistance fairly soon. It was actually on this candle that I was warning everybody. And then look what happened on the opening candle. Okay, look what happened right here. Okay, if you look over here, so here was probability number 2. We have a drop, base, drop. So we would expect to see some resistance in there, especially after this move, strong move up, right? Got to get some relief. And this strong move up is only around that 33%, retracement level. So you start adding these factors together. Strong move up, which usually is going to lead to some sort of, you need some relief, right? You got to take some profit or continue the move down, right? If I show you, come back over here. All right, so here's this big move down yesterday. If we just look at this as one leg, it's more than one leg, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 legs down, right? And we talked about this on our private live stream, I believe, yesterday, about how the typical move is around 5 to 7 legs, 5 to 7 waves. An extended move starts talking about 8, 9, 10, 11 waves. Okay, but this was 7 on the 30-minute. Then we start back up. But if we look at this as one leg, and this is one leg, right? It's just a level of structure. That's all it is. Then we go ahead and we put in another lower low. So we had lower low, lower high, lower low, which has just occurred, right? Okay, so this was the second probability right here, all of this lining up, that this is about a 33% retracement, give or take, of this move down. It's also confluent with this drop, base, drop right here, right, which should act as some resistance. It's also the opening candle of the day. All right, so that gives us some reason to pause. Give me 1 second here. My screen going haywire. Let me clean that up for you. So that gives us some reason to pause as well. All right, now let's go back to the opening range. So we talk about the opening range. It's the opening candle of the day. It ended up being a spinning top, which has been very, very normal lately, right? Lately, we've had a lot of spinning tops on opening candles. So all I did was draw a rectangle around it, and then I'm just looking for price to make a strong break out of that range one way or the other. The probabilities say that it probably more likely will happen to the downside. Okay, what happened? Second candle, opened here, came up to opening price level, rejected, and then started this flush to the downside. You see that? Okay, so as soon as it broke out of here, below this opening range, that could have been a short trade. All right, now there's a bunch of different ways you could have played it. The real conservative route would have been here to the 20 simple moving average. Okay, you could have played it to this level of support at 304175. You could have played it to this level of support, 301350. Okay, as you can see, it poked down near, right, near this level over here, which was yesterday's low, and then we got this big bounce, and it went right back to the 20, and then it started selling off again. We'll talk about that here in a second. So, why do I have this green level drawn in here? Okay, there's a demand zone there. We had the big move down, price bottomed out right here, we based, okay, then we got a pretty strong move away up to the 20, then it came back and it touched, and then it continued on up, right? We had this, I call this a first touch. So it just barely touched the zone, and then it continued all the way up here. Okay, strong move. Then this was the second touch into the zone. You see how we penetrated deeper, right? So we're chewing up those buy orders of bulls that want to drive the price higher. When we first touched it here, it immediately bounced out. Here, we penetrated down near the bottom, and then we got a bounce up to the 20, right? Which that would be a normal area that we would expect some resistance. And then we've had this big sell-off. We are catching some support right here around 29.85 right now. But is this going to be anything long-term, or is it going to be temporary? We don't know yet. We're only 12 minutes into this candle. Okay, so right here, okay, we had a pretty good idea on this move down that we would probably see a bounce out of there, which we did, right? And then again, right here, this would be a decision point for me. Okay, if you could break and hold above there, you may continue higher. But you can see we just barely touched it and immediately sold off. Immediately sold off. So that was telling us we were likely, okay, likely to start heading back down here and at least test this wick, okay, which we did. In real time, we got down here and price was waffling up and down, up and down. Then it actually touched this level, the 299825 level, and it bounced up. If I remember right, it bounced all the way up to 3009. Okay, so that's a $9, $10, $11 bounce. Then it came back down through, and then it broke. Okay, we broke the low of day. We also broke a wick. Let's go way back over here. Let's see if I can find it for you. I think I can find it. This is it right here. The low, see this huge wick right here? This was a potential obstacle. All right, and you can see this huge wick, and that is also why this level right here was so strong. Okay, but this wick here, the low was 2992. I told my room it was a potential area right in through here that could act as some support. So if we go back over, we'll see where we're at right now. Okay, right now, we got as low as 2982, but now we're bouncing. Okay, now we're bouncing. Now we're back up above the 299825 level. We're going to see if we're going to break and hold that and continue higher, right? But we have already put in the lower low. So we are continuing, currently, we're continuing this downtrend, which really was started way back over here, okay? That's where it was started, came down through the range, bounced off the bottom of the trend line, which had held for 3 weeks, okay? This had held for 3 weeks, bounced, okay? This was the Fed news. So we got the big bounce, then we sold off back down, then we tried to bounce again, then we sold off, then we had these 2 resting candles, we broke below, and that's what started this yesterday. Yesterday was basically nothing but downside. But somebody in my room actually pointed out a good fact too. It was controlled, right? Little level of structure here, little level of structure, little level of structure, and then right on down. But look at the candles, except for like this one right here and this one right here, none of them were huge. It was a controlled but steady descent down all day. And when I mean all day, I'm talking overnight, pre-market, and regular trading hours, all to the downside. And then yesterday, which was the start of today's trading session, we had the strong move up, a little level of structure, and then there was the opening candle for regular trading hours right here. So hopefully you guys can see how you can put all this together and then formulate high probability, high quality, profitable trades off of this, right? You could have had one right here, okay, on the break out of opening range and taken out the low of this first candle. And you could add numerous targets. This one could have been a target right here, target right here, target right here. Then you get this hammer like doji. Okay, the conservative play is right here. It takes out the top. Okay, and then maybe you're looking at this level. Maybe you're looking at the 20. Okay, I probably would have been looking at the 20. Okay, you take this out here. Why? Because even though you have a level here, you see this big drop on the candle. Well, there's really nothing to stop price until it gets up around the top of this candle. That's also where the 20 happened to be, and it went right to it. Then we start selling off. So then there's your next one. You take out the bottom of this, okay? Then I would say this would be your target right here. If it breaks that, then you start looking at the bottom of this wick or this level. Now, obviously, we know in hindsight, it's taken all of that out, but I like to be conservative. Okay, I like to have conservative targets. That way you don't get stuff that goes close and then bounces way back against you. You should also be moving your stops. You know, when you start to get a move that goes in your direction, you should at least move your stop into profitability, right? You don't have to get so close that it stops you out and you miss a big move. Like here, you would have entered right here. Your stop probably would have been up around this level. Okay, and as you can see, price went down, it came up, but only came up to here. Wouldn't have got close to your stop, then it made this big drop. Okay, now we've caught a little bit of support and had a bounce, and now it sort of looks like it's settling in, but we'll see here, right? We still got an hour and basically 40 minutes to go until the end of the trading week, regular trading hours. This is all on the 30-minute, by the way. All on the 30-minute. You can do it on any time frame, right? I could switch this to a 15. I'll just show you what it looks like on a 15. Okay, here's a 15, right? You're going to have twice as many candles. There was your opening. Really, the opening range is exactly the same. Look at this. Okay, there's your first 15-minute candle. Then we went inside on the second 15-minute candle. So the first 15-minute candle was exactly the same as the overall range on your 30-minute. These two candles make up your 30-minute candle. Right? So it was exactly the same range. We went inside, we pushed up to opening price level, and then we broke down. Right? So you could have done it on the 15. If you're somebody who likes to play a little bit higher time frames, let's look at it on the hourly. Okay, let me get a little closer for you. All right, here's the hour. Look at that, same range. Here's the hour. This is your 9 to 10 o'clock candle. It's the same exact range as the 15 and the 30. Same thing, we get the break up, and then this huge spike down, then it came back up. Okay, actually, I take it back. It actually came down, then it came up, then back down. Okay, this is on the hourly. But again, you can trade this way off of any time frame. Any time frame. The higher the time frame, the more solid the signals typically are. The magnitude of the move is typically bigger, but you're not going to get as many. You're not going to get as many each trading session. Okay, so on here, you would have took this, and then you would have had your targets wherever they were. Maybe it was the bottom of this wick. Maybe it was down here around the 20 in this level, or maybe you were trying to make it all the way down here to where this demand zone is. Now, look at the demand zone on the hourly. It's only 2 candles, right? It's only 2. When I go to the 30-minute, it's going to be 4. When I go to the 15-minute, right, it's going to be bigger. But here was your drop, base, and then rally, right? You'd like to see it rally away stronger, but what we did see is it came here and the immediate touch, and then it bounced higher and kept going higher. So that's how I knew when it came down over here, it was likely to catch a bounce again. Okay, now typically, first bounces are always your most high probability. A second bounce just depends, right? Because we had this huge move down. It was enough to stop this freight train. All right, here was the freight train, and we know there was enough buying pressure to stop this right here. Okay, so I was fairly confident a second touch was going to create a bounce as well. Then your third, now you're likely to go right on through, and we did. Okay, we went right on through and made that lower low. Now, I like to watch and trade predominantly on the 30-minute. You guys who are regulars here, you know that. All right, so again, if I come back over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your 4-candle base. We came down, based, and then we moved away. First touch, higher. Second touch, penetrated deep, but we get the bounce, and then lower low. Okay, so until we start putting in higher highs and higher lows, okay, right now we're continuing the downtrend. Continuing the downtrend until that happens. Okay, from the break of the trend line up here, lower low, lower high, lower low. As soon as you take this out, you've made a lower low right there. So even if this starts to come back, right? Even if it starts to come back, as long as it doesn't make a higher high, we are still in a downtrend. All right. Okay, now that's really what I wanted to show you guys today. Like I said, I've got some important phone calls I have to make. Yesterday in our private live stream, we didn't go over our watch list, and I'm not going to go over it again today because I just don't have time. Yesterday, well, really this whole week, our watch list has been killer. If you're watching some of the names on the watch list I put out on Twitter every morning, or if you're in the room, simpletradinglife.com, I put it in the room every day. About 70 to 80% of the names are producing nice winners every day. And the other ones are either not triggering, so there's nothing to do, or they're just barely triggering. And you might get in and out, you might get stopped out. But those ones are rare. Yesterday's watch list, there were huge winners on it. I didn't have time to cover it on yesterday's live stream, which was a private live stream, and I'm not going to cover the watch list today. But again, if you're into equities, right, and I trade mostly like futures, ES, I'll trade forex, I'll trade equities. But when premiums are reasonable and when action is good, I love to trade ES. It's my favorite thing to trade. But on equities, if you're somebody who likes to trade equities, look at our watch list every day. Make sure you join our room. It's free. Go to simpletradinglife.com, click on the free chat room button. Won't cost you a thing. And starting on July 1st, everything that was in our premium room will get moved over, and everything in the room will be free. There's tons of free content in there now, but there's going to be even more. And then at that point, we're going to get rid of the premium room. It's just all going to be free. All of our content across all platforms at that point will be free. We may do some workshops or something in the future, but that's like down the road. And everything else, like price action trading, support and resistance, supply and demand, trying to warn you about things like I warned the room this morning about the fact that we were probably at a resistance level. Watch for that breakout of the range. All that stuff is free. All you got to do is execute on it. So please give us a thumbs up in here, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications bell. That way you'll know anytime we're live or we upload new content. But definitely join us in the room. It's absolutely free, and we want to build this into the largest free trading community on the internet. I mean, that's our ultimate goal. And we're only oh gosh, I can't remember when we started it yet. 4 or 5 months into it, maybe, if that. And we're already nearing 300 members in the room. I think we're starting to get close to 150 subscribers on YouTube. We want to eventually get that up into the thousands and then keep growing it. On Twitter, I think I have 6,200 followers on Twitter. We started a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. So there's all kinds of places that you can find us. But being in the room is the best place, right? So go to simpletradinglife.com, click on the free chat room button, and join us in there. So everybody out there, have an awesome weekend. If there's anything you need, come to the room. You can ask a question either privately via DM, or you can put it right in the main chat section, and I will get to it and answer your questions. So everybody have an awesome day and awesome weekend. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.